You're listening to The Luxury Item, the podcast on the business of luxury and the people and companies that are shaping the future of the luxury industry. Here's your host, Scott Kerr.
In the world of fine dining, Chef Alain Ducasse sets a high bar. He is one of the world's most decorated chefs alive, with a combined 21 Michelin stars, and oversees a staggering 34 kitchens spread out across 3 continents and 9 countries. This is in addition to cafes, chocolate shops, ice cream parlors, and cooking schools teaching French cuisine to some 2,000 aspiring chefs. One of the top team members who works closely alongside Chef Ducasse is my guest on the Luxury Item today. His name is Pascal Féraud, and he is executive chef for DUCASSE Paris, the restaurant group for Alain Ducasse. Throughout his career, Pascal has worked in many of Alain Ducasse's top restaurants, including the iconic Louis XV in Monaco and Le Jules Verne restaurant located on the second floor of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Since 2011, Pascal Féraud has continued to work alongside Alain Ducasse as the group's executive chef. Welcome to the Luxury Item, Pascal.
Hello, Scott.
Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. You know, the global eateries of Alain Ducasse have been awarded a combined 20 Michelin stars, more than any chef in the world. But the Ducasse brand is more than just an extensive portfolio of internationally renowned and acclaimed restaurants. It's really a diverse enterprise that has also developed specialized restaurant consulting, events and catering, cooking schools, luxury inns and hotels, and numerous highly acclaimed and best-selling cookbooks. Can you talk about DUCASSE Paris Restaurant Group and its overall philosophy?
The group is getting bigger and bigger. The group began around 96 with 2 and 3 restaurants, and now we are, as you say, a lot of restaurants and a lot of Michelin stars. The philosophy is Mr. Ducasse wants really to do the things well, and he doesn't want to do restaurant just to do restaurant. He wants to all the restaurant have his own identity and philosophy. So this is very important for him. And all the restaurant is no there are no duplicate. It's no one restaurant that is duplicate everywhere. Mm-hmm. We have 34 restaurants, and they are all different. We have none of one is look like the other ones.
Is there any common thread between, while they are different, is there any common thread between all these establishments?
Yeah, they are all linked to the excellence and the product. You know, the product is the link, because we have totally different restaurant, from the bistro to the brasserie to Italian restaurant, gastronomy restaurant, 3-star Michelin. But the common things is the product and the way that we are using it.
And as executive chef in the group, what does your role entail?
My role is kind of complex, because I'm here to execute the vision, the culinary vision of Mr. Ducasse, the DNA, and so this is my first mission, to be here, that everything is want to put in place is put in place the way you want, but also do the following of that. Because put something in place is one thing, but to keep it like that for a long time is another mission. And same thing for the philosophy. You know, we need to. I was saying on the first question about the product, and so this is the show and teach the chefs and the teams that the product, the way to use, and give them the DNA and the philosophy of Mr. Ducasse.
I would really love to know about your earliest memories of food and cooking. Anything else that's, what sparked your passion, for food and cooking and led you to where you are now?
I start by myself. I was around 10, 11, and I was alone home on Wednesday, mm-hmm. and I start to steal the book the cooking book from I found in the bookshelves, and I try to some recipe, and I try simple things, and my parents and my grandparents were happy, and I was very pleased to make them happy. And it came like an habit, and then every Wednesday I was cooking something different and trying things on the book. And after a while, I was cooking quite well for a young boy.
Right.
And after when I was 14, 15, I asked my father to go to the cooking school, to the école hôtelière. And at the time, it was no like right now. Right now you have the TV show, and a lot of people, they are willing to go to do this job and to be a star chef. But at the time, it was quite disappointing at least for my father, to hear that I was going to be a chef. So it has been a fight for quite a year. I win the fight, and I've been allowed to go to the cooking school. I really like it, and I think, in my world, and I spent 3 years in this school. I get great results. But it was not finished, I was really willing to get the best job and at exit of the school, and I was using all my connection to get the job.
What was your specialty dish?
I don't have a specialty dish. I like to cook everything.
I mean, back early on, like
Back
when
then,
yeah.
I was doing, tart, quiche,
Mhm.
and things like that. And I was doing cake like entremet, like the cake. And I was doing a lot of blanquette, daube, things like that. Cooking meat long time, and wine, things like that.
Yeah, you've come a long way.
Yeah, yeah.
So, throughout your career, you have worked in some of the finest restaurants in various parts of the globe, from Nice to Paris to Monte Carlo to Los Angeles, not all of them DUCASSE establishments. So how did your relationship with Mr. DUCASSE form?
I started in Nice for Dominique Lestanc, who is now he was working at the time at the Negresco, and now he's getting a very small restaurant in Nice. The name is La Miranda, and I think he is the person who gave me the passion and everything to work in the restaurant. He has been I fall in love with him. He has been a little bit my godfather for all the years. I learned a lot with him. At the time, he was already impressed with Mr. Ducasse. At the time, I've been to Lucas Carton, and I worked for the French president, and all the time, my expectation was to find a way to go to work for Mr. Ducasse. And at the time, he was the worst restaurant to find a job, because there was no space, never.
Right.
And I have a chance to find a position over there, and I took it right away. So I start to work in Monaco with Mr. Ducasse. So I have a fantastic time over there. And after, I have to move for family reason in the US. So Mr. Ducasse helped me, to get the visa and everything. It was very helpful. And we get connected. He was calling me once every 6 months, for once a year. He was calling to get some news, sending a gift to my son when he get birth, things like that. And
So you kept the communication going.
yes. And I came back to Paris a couple of years ago, and as soon as when I arrived, he was he tried to grab me again, and I was just accept a position in Paris for chef, and I didn't want to quit and to right away. So I wait a while, And after a while, he told me, "Okay, I give you some, plane ticket. I want you to go to visit this, and I'm sure you're going to like it. And go spend 1 week over there, and you call me after." So I went over there. It was a huge position for me because he was executive chef of a big hotel, and I was just a simple chef, humble and small restaurant, and now I was going to operate a big restaurant, two big restaurant, bars and events, So it was big. It was a job that I was no teach for.
And you worked for Mr. Ducasse's iconic Louis XV restaurant in Monte Carlo in 1996 for a short time. The Monaco establishment was about 10 years old when you were there,
Yeah.
and pretty much seesawed between 2 and 3 Michelin stars. The restaurant is really the pinnacle of luxury and fine dining. So did you find it to really be a rich training ground for you?
Oh yeah. It was. We still, when we discuss between us, the old guy of the team and everything, the weekends are still the best to teach the guy, and you have everything over there. You have the product, you have the restaurant, the philosophy. Everything is concentrated in one things. And at the time, the team was very, very, very strong. All the chefs were working with me in the kitchen. They are nearly all famous. They are all stars, 2 star, 3 stars, and it was a playground with high level. You are all the time. You have the eyes on you, and everything need to be perfect all the time. Yeah, so you learn a lot.
And when you were executive sous chef at the fine dining establishment L'Orangerie in Los Angeles, it was the first time you got to express your talents on both sides of the Atlantic. So when you landed in the United States, what did you see in American food? And what adjustments did you have to make to meet the expectations of American clientele?
Arriving to Los Angeles, it was a big change. When I arrived and I took the taxi, and after 9 years of English at school, I was not able to give my direction to the hotel. So this is start by there, and after, yes,
A bit of a culture shock?
yeah, culture shock. Yeah. You arrive from the Louis XV office, one of the more difficult restaurant in the world, strict, and everything is perfect. And I arrive over there with where you work with different people, and different country. They are not here for the same thing as you, and so the job need to be done with the people, with different people. So this is the first thing you need to learn and understand, that the job you need to be done need to be with different people, and know like you, we know the same goal. So this is the first things difficult for when you arrive. After is a product. But the product, I was a little bit lucky because I was in Los Angeles. Is a lot of very nice product. And after, it was the size of the dish, the size in the US, the size of the dish are huge compared to France. And
Right.
this as well, you need to understand. And sometimes you think that you're doing well, but you are doing well for you, but no for them. So you need to adapt and understand the philosophy of the people from the region. And after, I was lucky that working in the weekends, and all the training I get, I used to all the technique and the dishes I've seen in weekends, to don't do the same things, because you cannot do the same things with the product I get and the team. But I was able to get something very nice with the product and the team I have.
And you were executive chef for several years at the iconic Jules Verne in Paris. The restaurant is on the second level of the Eiffel Tower, and Alain Ducasse took over and revamped it in late 2007. Jules Verne has already been around for decades, but Ducasse transformed it into a Michelin star fine dining experience. What were some of the unique built in challenges of operating a high end restaurant 125 meters up in a 118-year-old structure?
The view is fantastic, and you need a very, very good organization. At the time, we were doing around 250, 260 cover every day with a small kitchen of 80 square meter. So everything need to be prepared in your mind, and the surprise is no place for surprise. So every single dishes need to be things very well, and you need to special organization, and all the space need to be think for to use every centimeter to you cannot lose any space. So
Right.
yeah, it was a big challenge. We arrived, the restaurant was no at this level on capacity, on numbers, and it was a big success. Yes.
And so, what was your approach in creating the menu?
Creating the menu, first the direction was to get a Parisian cuisine. So we work, and I work a lot to found an identity of dishes that they were coming from Paris. After we open a little bit more to be French, but it was first Paris, and after we open a little bit more to all the hexagon. But it was very interesting. It was like a 6-7 months of looking in internet, in books, and calling the big chef to what do you think, if I tell you of a Parisian dish, and after that, when we get everything on papers, the restaurant was closed at the time. So we work in another restaurant in Paris, and we work from 2 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning. And for weeks, we were working all night to prep the opening of the Jules Verne.
And I want to talk about the position of executive chef. How has that position changed, do you think, in the last 20 years?
Of course, now the executive chef is nearly a businessman. You need to be able to do a BP. You need to read the numbers, read the P&L. You need to be expert on hygiene. You need to have connection. You need to do your payroll and accounts, and it's totally different. Before, the executive chef was just looking after his team and the kitchen, and right now the executive chef is the guy who drives the business and make the success or no of the operation is looking after.
So I want to talk about your personal process for creating a new dish, evaluating progress, and coming up with ideas. How do you go about doing that? Do you gain inspiration from seeing different products from other countries, learning different techniques, discovering new flavors? How do you come up with ideas for creating new dishes?
Sometimes it's different, and sometimes we have to work, on the special dish, or we need to come up with I don't know, a lobster dish or a potato dish or something, and we have already the product, and we need to work on something. And after I have the chance to travel a lot. I travel more than 100 days a year to all the countries. So I saw a lot of different things, a lot of different product techniques. I have the chance to try a lot of different restaurants. Of course, when you come back and you have a new asparagus, and I talk to the chef of the restaurant, and you say, okay, we're going to try these dishes. I saw last time in Japan, the guy was doing this and this, and maybe we can try with this, and we use different technique, and of course you need to also use your team, because the knowledge of your team is very important, and it is a teamwork, and it's very important to come up with the idea and driving and everything, but it's very important to listen to them and to make the job together.
So, aside from the cuisine, which gives a restaurant its fundamental impulse, what are a few fundamental elements that must always be present in a Ducasse establishment?
What is very important for Mr. Ducasse is the hospitality. For him, it's very important that the customer that they're working in his restaurant feel like home, So it's for him, it's very important that the first contact, and the first contact sometimes is by the phone. So, he doesn't want more than 3 ring on the phone, and he really want that the people, they feel like at home. So this is something that we try to have on all restaurant. And after is some naturality, but also, he's really pushing to cut the fat, to cut the salt, to cut the sugar, to get more vegetables and less fish, less meat. It's not to cut the fish and the meat, it's to rebalance the dish. This is nearly on all the restaurant, we try really to look after that. This is something that is everywhere. So we have one dish that the name is cook pot that we have nearly everywhere. This is a dish that is being created by Mr. Ducasse, so we can cook inside, and I think we have everywhere.
So chocolate seems to be a fundamental element in the Ducasse universe. Mr. Ducasse owns a number of chocolate shops around the world and a chocolate workshop in the heart of Paris. And there's even a new Assouline coffee table book titled The Art of Manufacture by Alain Ducasse, showcasing the artisanal techniques and craftsmanship behind creating his high-quality chocolate products. Can you talk about Mr. Ducasse's lifelong healthy obsession with chocolate and the role it plays in the overall enterprise?
Yeah, the chocolate is very important for Mr. Ducasse. We just blew the candle of the 10 years anniversary a couple of weeks ago. And now the chocolate is of Mr. Ducasse is all around the world. We have manufacturer in Paris, but in Tokyo, in London, in Munich, and soon in other place. Yeah, the chocolate is came for a long time. He worked for several years before the opening. And I have the chance to follow him sometime to select the cocoa bean on the different country, and take a small plane and boat and things to get it. And now we have maybe it's a little bit arrogant to say, but I can say it. But I think we have one of the best chocolate in the world, and it's fantastic. I have the chance to see from the first cocoa bean we bring back, and from what is now is a fantastic adventure. And it's not finished because, as I said, the manufacturer is keep growing and growing. But it's not finished, Mr. Ducasse keep pushing the team of the chocolate to get better and better. He's pushing all the time. For him, it's not finished. It's no story that is finished. It's not because we blow the 10 years. Now is for him is just start. He's pushing to get new things, new flavor, new chocolate. Is very passionate for him.
So I want to talk about technology, and it continues to impact the restaurant business, from these intelligent food locker systems in the front of the house, and we're starting to see more smart kitchen technology in the back of the house. So what role does technology play in your kitchens?
Smart technology is now everywhere, and in the kitchen we have a new system to follow our hygiene process. So everything now is nearly followed by smart system. You know, the temperature of the fridge, or the time you need to leave the things in the fridge, the date on the product, and so this is most of the time done by a computer. We can see it coming now. Some people try to bring some robots in dining room or something. You have some oven that has been driven by technology. We don't use this much, but some of the chefs are using this. You know that the computer he can cook by himself.
But one thing for sure is robots will never replace chefs.
There will no replace chefs, but they can replace and some of the big huge hotel are using some artificial intelligence to do some dishes. It's not really a chef, but it's to make food. And for me, it's a big difference between a chef and making food.
Right.
And but some of the, I don't say factory, but something like that. They are using a robot, and you know, like to build a car,
Right.
and it's working. So we really need to protect the way we are doing dishes and everything. So to protect the business, because the technology is good, but for a couple of things. I think that we need to keep the kitchen in our heart and keep cooking the way we're doing now.
It seems like one of the biggest trends in the restaurant world was that after the past few years of shutdowns, tumultuous pivoting, and labor shortages, restaurants and customers are embracing a return to the spirit of classic hospitality. Have you been finding that as well?
Yes. But as I told you, for us, is a big topic for Mr. Ducasse. But after the COVID, of course, the customer, they were looking for more clothes and more. So they want to be really feel at home. So for us, it was something that we were already doing. So we have to redo back to basic and work on that. But it was quite okay.
And we're also seeing restaurants putting more of an emphasis on sustainability, waste reduction, and the cultivation of meaningful partnerships with local farmers and producers. Ingredients tell a story that resonates with customers and the community. Do you think this will become even more important in the coming years?
Yes. This is very important for us and for the planet. We were doing this for several years now for us, before even that it was on.
Before it became a trend.
Yeah. Mr. Ducasse was the chef who we start with the naturality, and everything is coming from just around across the street. The product and the productor and the guy who is doing your vegetables and growing your vegetables, and he is the guy important. This is the guy who we need to look after. And when we use the vegetable in the cuisine, in the kitchen, we use everything. Nothing is no wastage, and we try to maximize everything. And this we start a long time ago. Is Mr. Ducasse who vision who give the trend to a lot of people and a lot of chefs. And right now, when you see this on the cooking book, or on TV show for around the cuisine, it look like he's normal. But at the time, it was Mr. Ducasse was ahead of everybody.
Are there any other fine dining trends that you see taking shape these days and maybe come in the coming years?
The vegan is coming, is very start to be very popular. Like, what Daniel is doing in New York is is quite remarkable. Is what he's doing is very nice, and I think that it's growing. So yeah, this is something that we need to keep in mind. Yeah.
I was reading an interview with Chef Massimo Bottura, who actually worked for Mr. Ducasse early on in his career, and he was talking about the new camaraderie among chefs. He said when he's in New York, he goes to his friends' restaurants, people like David Chang and Daniel Boulud and Alain Ducasse. If he's in town, he said things have changed over the last 10 years in gastronomy. Chefs don't close their kitchens to other chefs anymore. It's all about sharing. We travel all over the world and share techniques, experiences, and ideas with one another. Why has the kitchen of today evolved into a place which is all about sharing knowledge and know-how?
Yeah, when I start to work in the cuisine, it was totally different. It was very hard to get the recipe, and some of the chefs were hiding the recipe. You don't get the full recipe, and it was no connection between chefs. Right now, it's more friendly, and I think with the communication and the WhatsApp things, and the chefs are more able to communicate, and things like Instagram, people, they see what they're doing, and when you see, you want to go and to be connected with other chef and try and do dinner or four hands dinner, and I think this is going to open the kitchen to someone else, and some chefs also they discover that you can take some pleasure to teach and to coach other chefs or friends, and show them what you are able to do, and show them the technique, and so this is for us. A lot of different chefs are coming in our kitchen, and we show them how to do, and the way we do, and they came and they do different restaurants from our world, and we do the same. We sometimes send some chef in Japan to discover how they do sushi or something, to the best chef in the sushi in the world. Yeah, the world changed, and is it the good way?
It's for the greater good.
Yes.
So can you talk about some of the new establishments or projects that we can expect from DUCASSE Paris this year and maybe 2025?
It's a lot of projects, actually. We're going to open a big restaurant in Paris soon. We're going to open a gastronomic restaurant in Rome, another gastronomic restaurant in Naples. We're going to open Benoit in Riyadh. And coming soon, we're going to have La Maison du Peuple, where is going to be the headquarters. It's going to be the headquarters of Mr. Ducasse. All the manufacture on it is going to be coffee, chocolate, biscuit, ice cream, with all the office, and it's going to be like a showroom of all our world.
Wow. And when is that opening?
2025.
Pascal, my last question, which I ask all my guests, is the luxury item question. So if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only have one single luxury item with you, what luxury item would that be? It can't be any form of air or water transportation to get you off that island, or anything that requires mobile service so you can call somebody to get you off that island. It's just you on lots of sand, lots of palm trees, lots of ocean. What would that one single luxury item you would like to have with you?
Oh, it's a difficult question. A book, a big book.
Any particular book?
I don't know. Maybe a Jules Verne book. To keep my mind on creativity.
Pascal Féraud, Executive Head Chef for DUCASSE Paris. Thank you so much for joining me on the luxury item.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Scott.
That's it for this episode of the Luxury Item Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this useful and entertaining, I would be really grateful if you can share it with a friend or colleague. I would love it if you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps other listeners find us. The Luxury Item Podcast is a production of Silvertone Consulting. I'm your host, Scott Kerr. Until next time.